The name's E. Nog E. Hey everyone, how's it going? Today we're going to be talking about a very super secret game about a very super secret man that's a super secret spy. This is 007 First Light, the new one that just recently came out. I am not a big 007 guy, and I say that, and what I mean is I've never seen any of the movies. I have played GoldenEye 007, of course. I think everyone has for at least a couple minutes. I actually played it a little bit on Xbox Game Pass a couple years ago when it first came back. And I played one of them on GameCube. Maybe it was World Is Not Enough or something. At my cousin's house, he had the multiplayer, and we played it for a couple minutes. So I don't have much experience. Maybe I'm not the most qualified guy to rank and talk about 007 things. My dad's a big 007 guy. Or at least he loved GoldenEye back in the day. He said that was one of his favorite games. He also, my grandparents are like massive 007 fans. They have every movie on DVD and they've watched them all and whatever. So it's weird. I come from a lineage that you would think would really love 007, and yet I never really cared for it. I'm down to watch them at some point. There's just so many movies. But besides that, we're talking about 007 First Light. 007 First Light was a game that when it was first initially announced, I thought, oh, okay, that's neat. Like, finally, another, a new 007 game, a new James Bond game. That's cool. I'm really happy for the fans of that series. That's neat. And that was my response. I never planned on playing the game. Up until a couple months ago, I was like, you know what? I'm hearing more and more about this game and more chatter. This is kind of interesting. What the heck? I'll try it out because at the time, not much had really been announced for this season coming out in May. It was like that and the Yoshi game I was going to be playing. And it was okay. It was fine. But, hey, I'll say it won me over. I have some nice things to say about 007 First Light. Maybe I like to go the bad out of the way. I like to talk, come in and talk about why I was excited for the game and what ended up making me get the game. And I'll sandwich it in. I'll sandwich in the bad and then go on a good note. So let's go ahead and talk about what I didn't really care for in the game. The cons of the game, I think if you can get past a lot of cutscenes, especially at the beginning, it's a very cinematic game. That's fine because visually it's very beautiful, it's very stunning, but they kind of go overboard. There's a lot of cutscenes, a lot of talking, listening to a lot of dialogue. The loading screens are kind of long. If you die, I say it's kind of long, it's like 10 seconds, but I don't think you realize how long 10 seconds for a loading screen is until you realize that games these days are so quick with loading screens, almost no loading screens. Some games don't have any, some are almost seamless, or oh man, a long loading time is 3 or 4 seconds. I can't believe it. But then if you die, and especially if you're like me, a couple of hard parts in the game, trying to play on a harder difficulty, because the story recommended I did, and so I was like, all right, I guess I want the full experience. Normally I play on the easiest, like the story, the baby difficulty, but I decided I'll play on a harder one, and I was dying a bunch, and it was like 10 seconds here, 10 seconds there, 10 seconds here. To show you what I mean by waiting when you're waiting 10 seconds, it's like if I was saying a sentence, and then I started another one right after that with a gap, you would think that's pretty crazy, right? Correct. It is pretty crazy. That's a big gap. I bet you felt like that was long and uncomfortable. It's kind of long and uncomfortable every time I have to wait for a new the game to come back after I die. 007 was cool. That was really the only two negative parts about it. Well, I guess that and there's about 10 chapters, or 11, I guess, if you count chapter 0, the prologue. There's 11 chapters. Some of them are pretty lengthy. They have a lot of action, a lot of stealthing. It's really fun, a lot to do, big major story points. And then there's one or two, or maybe three in there, like that are just kind of like, like come and go like a wet fart in the air. Like the wind blows and it's gone. Here 1 second, gone the next. And it's a little inconsistent of the quality, but it's fine. I think going back to the things that I liked, I think it was pretty solid. I don't think it's a great game. I think it's a really good game. I heard some chatter on social media that people are saying it's an early contender for Game of the Year. I would not. I mean, I guess because I haven't, from what I played so far with, Resident Evil is my one, Pragmata is probably my two. I guess, like, maybe, but even still, I'd rather put Yakuza Kiwami 3 or heck, even Tomodachi Life is really solid. So I think it's a really good game, but I think by the end of the year when more stuff comes out, I don't think it'll be up there. I think it'll end up being passed by. I think it's just, you know, it's a really solid game. I think if you're a 007 fan, you're probably gonna enjoy it a lot more. The talking and dialogue, even though there's a lot of it, it is pretty clever. It's pretty witty. I didn't mind a lot of the humor. I thought it was funny. The James Bond, the voice actor, the model, everything looks and plays fine. The characters are, pretty nice in there. The story is not super complex. It's not like it's really going to get lost in you. Some of the major plot twists are, you know, not like not obvious, but not like, oh my gosh, I never saw it coming. It's fine. It's subpar for the plot. The gameplay does feel really well. Some of the goofiness, like you can throwing the gun if you run out of ammo, distracting people is really clever. I feel like there's not enough missions. It introduces all the different gadgets. Like, oh, I'm going to be able to pick my gadgets for each of these missions. And most of the time, you don't. You don't ever get there's a couple that you get to pick. But after that, it either just gives you some or it suggests you which one you should take. And it's fine, it's okay, but it's nothing phenomenal. I think it's an alright game. I don't really have a lot to say about it, if I'm being honest, because, like I said, it's good, not great. I think it was solid. I enjoyed it. I would recommend it to someone if you like games like that. It's probably not one I'm going to go back to and revisit hardly ever, if ever, though, simply because it's not a game I'm itching for. I was just kind of curious when I tried out. I had tried out Pragmata and was pleased. I tried out Mouse PI for Hire, was mostly pleased. So trying this one out, I thought, you know what, I'm on a pretty good string of trying games out. And hey, I wasn't disappointed. I think it was solid. For a $70 game, though, it's all right. I think would have been better at like maybe 50 or 60. But, I just know that games are getting more expensive. It does look like they put a lot of money into that game. And I think that was an Amazon MGM Studio game. I want to say they were one of the ones that helped out. And then, of course, the creators. Was it IO Directive or Interactive that make the Hitman games? You can definitely see a lot of Hitman in there. And I think it's really fun. It's a really good game, but just not a great game. To me, it is the stereotypical IGN, 7. It's one of those, it's like, oh, 7's so lazy because you're complimenting the game, saying it's good, but you don't have the balls to say it's bad, but you also don't say it's great. That's fine. That's kind of where I'm at right there. If there's one game so far I played this year that's just the IGN good old 7, it's this one. It's fine. It's tolerable. Fun, but not amazing. That being said, I do hope it leads to more games. I know they announced that there might be another mission or two coming later. And I hope that it leads to a series. I think they could improve upon it and do even better. I think that'd be really cool. But for the time being, this one in particular, it serves as a fine setup point for the series. I'm not going to say more because it'll just be dragging out and repeating myself. So, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Adios and bye-bye.